My business keeps getting better while I sleep, and I'm not the one improving it. I know how that sounds. Let me show you exactly what I mean, because this is the thing that still surprises me about the way I work now. I run my business on something called a second brain. I will explain properly what that is in a minute. For now, the one thing you need to know is that inside it, there is a single instruction file, the one every one of my AI employees reads before it does anything. And that file has a rule written into it. The rule is simple. Keep improving yourself. Learn from my feedback, learn from your own mistakes. Let me make that real. Say one of my agents explains something to me in a very technical way, full of code and jargon. And I stop and say, please remember, I am not technical. Always explain this to me in plain language. A normal chat would do that once and forget it by tomorrow unless you put it manually into the instructions. This one does not forget. It writes that instruction into its own rules, so the next time and every time after, it already knows. I told it once, I never have to tell it again. And it goes further than my feedback. When one of my AI employees builds something and it breaks, it does not just fix it and move on. It fixes the bug and then it writes down the lesson in its own words, so it never makes that same mistake again. The next time it is about to do the thing that broke, it already knows not to. So sit with that for a moment. The system is improving itself because the second brain is improving itself. I am not sitting down every week to retrain it. It compounds. The longer it runs, the sharper it gets quietly on its own. And that is the opposite of a simple LLM and how it works with more and more context. I have never in my life had an employee who does that automatically. And this is exactly why the second brain is the thing I'm most excited about right now. Now, if you're sitting there wondering what a second brain even is, let me explain all the way up, because this is where the whole thing starts. People keep telling you to give AI more context, feed it more, explain more, paste in more. What almost nobody tells you is where all that context is actually supposed to live. That is what a second brain is, and it is the piece nearly everyone is missing. A second brain is a structure of files that holds all the knowledge your AI needs to work for you. Who you are, what you sell, your clients, your voice, your processes. The things you have already decided and you do not want to decide again. It sits in one place and it stays there. And then on top of that knowledge, you hire AI employees. You give one of them a task, and because it already has access to everything, it can start from the very first second. You are not briefing it from scratch every time. It is a little like onboarding a new person into your business. You give them the documents, the processes, you tell them how things work, and then they can go. The only difference is that your AI reads all of it in a fraction of a second, and it never loses where things are. That is the real shift. A lot of people are still using AI like a chat window and re-explaining themselves to every single morning. A second brain is the opposite. You explain once, it lives somewhere permanent, and everything you build sits on top of it. And the first time people see how this is organized inside, they get a little thrown. So let me show you the part that surprises almost everyone. Sometimes I open my second brain, I look at the folders, and honestly, I do not fully understand why they sit the way they do. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be. When that happens, I just ask Aria, my information architect, to explain it to me. And she does. She walks me through my brain. She can even draw me a visual of it, and it makes sense. Because this is the thing I had to learn myself as well, and I hear it from people all the time. We want a structure that looks clear to us. Nice folders at the top, everything where our eye expects it. We want to open it and think, what a beautiful order. But we are not the ones who have to find things in there. The AI is. And the AI does not search the way we do with eyes. It does not scan your 5 tidy folders and think, oh, how neat. It searches by keywords, by connections, by the links between files. It builds its own web through your knowledge. So when you design the whole structure just so that it is clean to your eyes, you're quietly building for the wrong reader. You're making a filing cabinet for yourself when what the AI actually needs is something it can search its own way. I see this a lot with people who are used to organizing everything themselves. They want to stay in control of the exact folders, the exact files, the exact place everything goes. And I understand it completely. I feel that pull too. But that instinct is the very thing that keeps you doing all the work by hand. result. Now, you do not lose anything here. You do not stop understanding your own business. At any moment, you can ask your agents, explain this structure to me, show me where this lives, and they will. You simply stop being the filing clerk for your own knowledge. That job you can finally hand over. And once you hand it over, there is one more thing about the second brain that matters more than people realize, especially if your knowledge is currently spread across few different tools. Right now, your business knowledge is probably scattered across 5 different tools that will never talk to each other, and you are the only thing connecting them. Think about where your knowledge actually lives today. Some of it is in your Claude project, some of it in ChatGPT, in Perplexity, a knowledge base you start somewhere else on Google Drive or OneDrive. Each one is its own little walled garden, and they do not talk. So you become the human bridge, carrying context from one to the other, repasting, re-explaining, holding it all together in your head. That is exhausting, and that is fragile. A second brain fixes this by pulling all of it into one place that does not belong to any single tool. And this is the part I really want you to hear, because for me, it is the biggest advantage of all. Your second brain does not live inside Claude's general instructions. It is not inside ChatGPT's memory. It is not locked in any one product settings where you would have to dig it back out if you ever wanted to leave. It is in your own files, your own structure, yours. And because it is yours and independent, you can do things you simply cannot do when your knowledge is trapped. You can move it across systems. You can connect to a different AI whenever you want. You can plug in another tool for one job and unplug it the next, and your brain stays exactly where it is, untouched. Nothing to export, nothing to rescue out of some tool's memory. The knowledge is the constant, and the tools come and go around it. That is also why a second brain is so private and so valuable. It is not a feature you rent inside someone else's app. It is an asset you own. It is the one thing that stays yours no matter what happens to any tool you're using today. So when you put all 4 of these together, self-improving, organized for the AI, one place and fully yours, you start to see what this really is. A smart model on its own is fast. A smart model sitting on top of your second brain is ready. You stop preparing, you stop re-explaining yourself. You describe what you need and your AI employees start. That is what an AI native business actually is. It does not run on you typing into a chat all day. It runs on AI employees built on a second brain that improves itself, is organized for them, and belongs entirely to you. If you want to see this properly, come join my free webinar this Wednesday, where I teach exactly how my second brain works live. And come check out my free community, the Claude Lovers Club on School, where all of this lives. Both links are right below this video. And tell me in the comments, what is the one part of your business you are still carrying around in your own head that you wish you could finally hand over? I read all the comments. See you on Wednesday, hopefully.